Hey there, kissable misters. It's me, your boy, B3, back with another kicking action figure review. Today we're looking at one from the last haul video. It is the McFarlane DC Multiverse Gold Label Superman vs. Doomsday 2-pack that they released for Superman's 85th anniversary. It was a Target exclusive. That is where I got it. I picked it up alongside my Action Comics #1 Superman, and I have a lot of thoughts on it. There's a lot of stuff I like about it. There's a lot of stuff that I don't really like about it. Let's talk accessories first, just to kind of get it out of the way. Doomsday doesn't come with much that can actually affect his person here, so I'm going to put him to the side. Superman, as you can see, has this, whatever kind of fucking hand this is. And then there's this kind of holding hand. He doesn't come with anything to hold. You know, that's kind of a pet peeve of mine when action figure manufacturers give him a holding hand and nothing to hold. Why would you do that? But he does come with these kind of up, and away flying hands. That's pretty cool. You know, we don't get enough flying hands with Superman figures, I feel like, unless they're like the higher quality Mafex stuff. That's a really cool inclusion. My question is, why doesn't he have a fist hand? If you would have just made this hand a fist hand, I could have ignored this freakish monstrosity. Just a fist hand, McFarlane. Once again, I like the up, and away hands. Thank you very much. I get having a hand like this in this kind of battle 2-pack. This should have been a fist hand. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say, McFarlane, about the hands. I'm a handsy little fella. But you know that these McFarlane figures come with trading cards. I kind of like the trading card gimmick, but you know, it's something I could easily live without. Like, if they were like, you know what, we're going to get rid of them, I wouldn't care. You know, this is pretty cool. Superman, Reign of Doomsday. I think this image is actually from Death of Superman. I believe that's from Reign of Doomsday. Yeah, I have both these story arcs. I've already reviewed this one, I believe. I haven't reviewed this one yet, but I will. So this is Doomsday's card and Superman's card. Pretty cool. It would have been cool if they had a big stand, because I've gotten some 2-packs before that had like big kind of almost diorama-like stands, and one of those stands was like the Superman cape kind of in tatters as a flag. Would have been really cool. Just saying, that would have been a really cool accessory, but I kind of get why it's not in here, you know? They do each come with a stand. They both stand just fine without them, but I like having the option. Adult collectible figures almost should come with stands at this point. But yeah, very cool. I feel like you guys are probably most interested in the Doomsday, which means I'm going to talk about the Superman first. Gotta keep you around. Is it just me, or has McFarlane's quality control gone downhill? There were multiple quality control issues in the last review, and this guy has some too. You can clearly tell when you look at him, this arm sticks out way farther. And that's because the peg is too long. I took it out and looked at it. The peg's just too long. It's not that it's not pushed in all the way. So there's this big gap that isn't here. I'm just going to pretend it's like a dislocated shoulder from the battle or something. But it's very awkward to look at. Once you've noticed it, you can't like not notice it, because it sticks out too far. That being said, he's not a bad figure. I would have preferred topless Superman, because, you know, at the end of Death of Superman, that happens because he loses it. Obviously, he doesn't have it on. And the DC Icons line did this with their 2-pack. It should have been shirtless Superman. Like, it's towards the end of the fight. He's topless. That hairy chest. Just the end of the battle Superman. But if they did that, they would have had to sculpt a new torso, and they didn't want to do that, so they gave us this one instead. A lot of these parts are the same ones on this Superman, but they make a bit more sense on this Superman. You see, you got like the special cuts in the shoulder there and on the legs. You've got some scuffing like this. That's just painted on, which is fine. None really on his back. And then you have this one, which is also painted on. That almost feels like it should have been sculpted on, I think. I don't know, something about it just looks odd. Oh, now I know. It's a different skin tone than the rest of him. That's why it looks odd. Okay. If it was the same skin tone, I probably wouldn't complain about it being painted on there. But this, House of Elf symbol's raised. I also like this detail. His little feet are actually really dirty. See all the dirt on his boots? That's a good detail. That's just a straight up good detail. They also did that with the Flash Multiverse Keaton Batman. So that's a good little detail. I'll give you props for that. I think this is the same torn cape from the Infected Superman. It's fine if it is, because that figure came out a while ago. I'm actually fine with that. It's a cool looking cape. So yeah, he looks fine. I actually quite like the head sculpt on him. I already gave my little spiel about the hands, but he's got like some blood on him. And it's a good sculpt, and he's got a great blue wash in his hair. Looks magnificent, actually. Very comic-y. He's a good looking figure for the most part, but McFarlane, get that quality control, on lock. You're not NECA. And NECA's actually improved a lot over the years. I still use them as my example, but I haven't had a problem with a NECA figure in a while. Just saying. Just saying. Now, articulation on Superman is exactly what you'd expect with the head and the blibbity bloop bloop and whatnot. Oh, ooh, whoa, Jesus fucking Christ. That sucker launched. How'd that even happen? Dear Lord. You know what, now that I think about it, the other Superman I just showed, my last review, had this same holding hand, and it also came off really easily. So I think maybe this hand sculpt is just, like, too big on the inside, maybe? That was weird, right? But yeah, he's got the double elbow, forward and back, rotation, a lot on the torso and the waist. This is a rubber cover, so it can go forward and back pretty decently, in and out, double knee bend. Then we got kind of like side to side, an ankle pivot, toe beans, forward and back, peg holes, of course. You already saw the stands. So yeah, he's a fine battle damage Superman. I would have preferred one that was a bit more straight out of the Death of Superman comic, because that image is from Death of Superman, even if this specific Doomsday isn't. This card says Reign of Doomsday, but maybe I should give him a break. I mean, maybe this isn't supposed to be the Death of Superman, but I'm getting mixed signals on that. Because on the box there's images from Death of Superman, this same image, and it's on the card. What's the read-up, actually? The read-up's just normal Superman read-up. It's nothing about the specific story. I wish I'd get more specific on some of these. Stop copying and pasting. I don't need the same damn read-up on every effing card. But yeah, he's fine. He's a fine Superman. It's cool to have a nice little battle damage Superman. And then Doomsday. Now, he reuses some parts from the Devastator Batman, which is fine. Like, the hands are just straight up the same. And I think the torso might be brand new. At first I thought it was Devastators with stuff added to it, but I don't think it is. I think it's just completely new, which is great. His spikes are all painted pretty well. The ones on his fists could have used a little more paint. It's just almost like a wash of that color. And then nothing on the inside, and then nothing on the nails. So the hands are a little lacking, but the rest of the body's pretty good paint-wise. Especially the head. It's a freaky looking head. I love those GMK Godzilla eyes. He's got paint on the inside of the mouth, which is really awesome. I mean, he looks cool. Nice bright green is a real good contrast to his grays. Like, he's painted quite well. He's got a good wash all the way down his back. He's a good-looking figure. He looks good. Now, let's get into articulation. You already saw the jaw. You guys know I'm a sucker for jaw articulation, especially on monster characters like Doomsday. So, very happy about that. The head moves around. This is very rubbery, so it doesn't get in the way as much as you'd think. His little pony. I also have a ponytail right now. I guess that makes me as cool as Doomsday. This arm is pretty stiff, but I actually did heat these guys up. I know that's a trick. It's like, oh, why didn't you try heating these up? They're more stiffer joints. Well, I did. It's been done. But like, this arm is so stiff. I finally got it to move a little while, but I had to pop it out and pop it back in to get it to do anything. And like, pop it out, articulate it around just with the holding the peg, and then put it back in. See, like, it wants to pop out so bad. But yeah, there's a lot of good movement there. Elbow, lots of nice movement there. He doesn't have as much articulation as the Superman, but it's just because he's so thick. But he still has enough for me, I think. You know, the torso, though, it's really loose. And then the waist, God, it feels like the waist could just fall out. He feels like he could fall out of his pants. It's so loose. And his legs feel loose in it, too, just like this whole section is loose. Like, when I stand him up, he just wants to flop back. Like, he stands fine when you get him his torso balanced and stuff, right? Not here, because it's kind of squishy to protect the figs. But it's a little odd. But you got forward and, like, an excellent back. Dear Lord. He has no booty under there at all. Also, look at that fucking bulge. Dear fucking Lord. McFarlane, are you horny for Doomsday? Because that bulge is straight up popping. Actually, you know what? I'm looking at the reference art right now. He also has quite a bulge there. So that's just accuracy, dude. But he does have like a pretty decent, like, swivel there too, which is pretty cool. That's not something McFarlane stuff doesn't have pretty good articulation there usually. You got a bend on the knee, rotation on the knee. And it sounds like a ratchet joint, but it doesn't look like one. But it feels and looks and sounds, well, looks like the movement looks like a ratchet joint. But that's not a ratchet joint, that's a sculpted joint. So what's up with that? I don't know. He doesn't have toe articulation though, but I don't think I care. I don't think I care. But he's got a pivot. That matters the most for posing, I feel like. I just wish he wasn't loose right here. And maybe a little more paint on the hands. But other than that, pretty dope Doomsday. Let's not pretend that most people aren't going to get this for the Doomsday, right? Like, that's just going to be how it is. So, now, let's put these guys here and do some size comparisons. First up, I've already kind of flashed them at you, so I might as well show the McFarlane Collector Edition Superman from Action Comics #1. I have their feet level, even though they're off camera. I think he scales pretty good with them. Looks perfect, actually. I'm pretty into that. Alright, Soups, let's get you out of here. Throw in another Kryptonian. How about the Flash movie Supergirl? I admittedly haven't seen the Flash movie, but I like her look. So I got the figure. She looks pretty cool. I think that scales just fine. Like, her detail is very clearly movie detail and not comic detail, but all good. By detail, I meant design. And then, that's two heroes, so let's throw in two villains, huh? Here is the Batman Reborn Two-Face as Batman. I have that comic somewhere. I need to reread it, because I don't remember much of that. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I think he looks good with him. That's kind of the Hush Batman mold, so that's how your Hush Batman, which they keep pumping out, will look. Speaking of Hush, here is the single-carded Hush. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I can dig it. And all of those McFarlane DC figures I have reviewed, most of them pretty recently. Now I'm going to show another figure. This is a DC Direct, kind of DC Collectibles figure. It's from the DC Essentials line. It is the Deceased Unkillables Zombie Red Hood. Oh, zombie. He looks fine. I mean, he's a younger guy. He's a zombie, so you could say he's a little thinner. But it is the same scale as these McFarlanes. I think Superman's just so buff and Doomsday's so big. I'll just say it's okay. It's alright. But it doesn't have to be good, because, I mean, they scale well with their own line, which you already saw, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. That being said, I am going to show him with a Mattel. It's going to be a bit of a bigger guy. I haven't shown Mattel figures off a lot recently. But here is the New 52 Doomsday Collect and Connect figure. This pre-New 52 Doomsday's got a whole head on him, though. But I still think he would look good fighting this Superman. God. You don't realize how little detail those Mattel figures had until you got them next to these. Oh well. I still like this Doomsday, even though the quality control on this guy was also horrendous. Yeah, I had to order a second arm for him because one wouldn't articulate, and then this leg is put in backwards and cracking apart. But yeah, let's get him out of there. I just want to show a couple more things. I like to show this guy with pretty much any McFarlane figure I review. It is the Deluxe Spawn Throne. You know, he's kind of McFarlane's guy, and he has crossed over with DC Comics multiple times. I think he looks magnificent with him. I think he goes in perfectly size-wise and detail and paint-wise. He looks great with these DC figures. Just do. Let's pull him out of there. And I want to show just one more. It is the NECA Original Superheroes, The Phantom. Oh, he might look a little small next to this Superman. Yeah, you know what? I think he's good. I mean, Superman is a Kryptonian after all. So you expect him to be a big old thick boy. That thick old boy. Yeah, they look good together, now that I'm kind of looking at it for a sec. And, you know, Doomsday, as long as he's towering over people, I'm good. I'm good to go. Kick ass. Alright, so yeah, all those figures I just showed in size comparisons I have reviewed. The videos are on this channel. Definitely check them out if you'd like. But yeah, that is it for this review. So what do I think of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Gold Label Target exclusive Superman vs. Doomsday 2-pack? It's cool. It's definitely worth it just for the Doomsday, to be completely honest. And I'm not going to pretend that this isn't a cool battle damage Superman. Well, I do wish it was the kind of Superman that's had the snot beat out of him to the point where he's basically just pants from Death of Superman. I do think that now, after I've gone through this review and stuff, it's clear to me that this 2-pack is based on the Reign of Doomsday story, and not the Death of Superman, despite the fact that they plastered Death of Superman art over half of it. Just saying. Giving me some mixed signals here, but it does say Reign of Doomsday on the bottom of both cards, so I guess I can take that back. Well, I would prefer a figure of that Superman, and would buy even just a single carded Death of Superman like that, maybe one that came with the cape on the stick. Actually, I would buy that. Yeah, I'd buy that as a deluxe, just a nice topless Superman with a diorama piece. That'd be cool. Please do that, McFarlane. I'd get it. The quality control could be better. That's my main issue with these, because I think the detail and paint are cool. You know, there's a lot of reused parts on Superman and some on Doomsday, but not to the point where it's like, ugh, come on. You know, they're reused parts that make sense. It's just, there's quality control issues on both these figures. On the last McFarlane I reviewed, and I bought them all at the same time, at the same place, these figures are just, like, not doing it quality control-wise. And they had good quality control recently. I don't know what's up with McFarlane. They've increased the price, and now the figures not only seem to come with less, but also have quality control issues, but the price has gone up. Also, Gold Label is a misleading thing to call exclusive. Gold Label just means exclusive, but Gold Label kind of implies that it's a higher quality product, but it's not. It just means that only one store sells it. That feels intentionally misleading, right? That straight up just feels like a lie. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that's just a straight up fucking lie. Like, I'm positive. It's. I know it's not technically a lie, but it feels like it. For legal reasons, I don't think it's a lie, but it feels like a lie. Anyways, that's it. It's a cool 2-pack. I do think it's worth the money, but hopefully you'll get some with better quality control that isn't so loose around here and is measured correctly here. But, I mean, just as display pieces, like, if you're the kind that just likes figures to sit on the shelf like as pieces of art, I think you'll really like this 2-pack. But if you're the type like me that likes to pose them all up and make little fight scenes on the coffee table and like as decoration and stuff, you might have some reservations. But they're still really cool. They're cool. I like this 2-pack. I like this 2-pack. Sue me. I mean, it's better than the fucking collector's edition bullshit. But that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll be seeing you all, you guessed it, next time. Bye for now.